I guess it was more in the course of my time in the Peace Corps. I lived in
Let's take it back then. When or why, both,
yeah,
actually, did you decide to join the Peace Corps? First when and then why?
Okay, I remember asking myself the same question, sitting on the back porch of my parents' house in Somerville. It was second floor. It's a 2.5-story house, and the back porch faces out on a kind of a broad sort of triangular enclosure with the backs of the houses of the next street and houses off to either side. It was as spacious as it was from yard to yard, the open space down below, you know, with the fences separating. It was indeed quite circumscribed. And I know I had a mounting sense for years that such circumscription was not indeed my future. It was merely my present back then, and it was something I had to leave.
I've been looking at it for 23 years, give or
Right,
take.
that's right, 22 years, yeah. Yeah.
And it was time to move.
It was definitely. I remember asking myself, you know, there was some mild trepidation about leaping from Greater Boston into the not yet quite imaginable wilds of Colombia. So I was, even though I was, you know, definitely going, I had gone through the whole tedious and complex bullshit of applying to the Peace Corps, and they had a rather full program of investigations. You know, the feds investigated your character, your name. They interviewed all of your references and then some. They really wanted to find everything out they possibly could about you.
And you were at the time the clean-cut all-American boy.
Hey man, I'd been an altar boy for. I've been an altar.
There were no radical organizations in your background.
Nadita, man, nada. I was an altar boy for 9 years. I went longer than most of my friends that had been altar boys, because most of them sort of dropped out in embarrassment as they progressed in high school. But I was an altar boy right through my senior year of high school, and also I was a member of the choir. You know, I mean, it's beside the point that I was a thug and a hoodlum.
That's not beside the point, huh?
But I also helped old ladies across the street. Really, that was okay. Not a bad kid, really.
So is your brother
Mm-hmm.
Some type of influence on this, the service to the people, or was it Kennedy's death or asking for the aid that led you to this decision?
No, it was my way of translating my own heartfelt, if rather subdued, urge to fulfill, you know, some of my own young idealistic missionary fervor.
Missionary.
You know
fervor.
all about missionary fervor, Tom. You do it with video.
That's where the brother came in. This service to the wider world.
That's where the brother came. What do you mean? That's where the brother came?
Your brother who essentially gave his life to the service of the people.
I love Jerry, but he didn't.
He was not a major influence on your decision to do this.
He did not serve me as a model. No, and I mean that's certainly no.
Oh no, you would have become a priest if he had.
Well, why would I? He didn't become a priest himself. He became a brother.
Oh, okay.
And I think that
I don't know
always,
that much about the Catholic Church. So
if I can do a brief aside,
to me those are the same. Those are the same thing. They're not obvious.
If just a brief aside, that was all. I suspect often much to my mother's chagrin, that he didn't perform the full course. The the magic of Irish ritual with respect to family makeup, calls for a full-fledged ordained priest.
Yeah.
And he went that one fewer, in terms of his religious life, he never did get ordained. He never wanted to. He found for himself, I assume, a number of models among the brothers that taught us at Malden Catholic and St. Joe's before it. As for myself,
See, that's interesting. I didn't realize there was a difference
honest to God,
between a priest and.
You're not just putting me on
No,
for the sake of the viewing audience.
No, I'm not. No. I assumed that
You have to watch out.
if you wore the collar and walked around, you took the same vows.
Yeah, no.
Or you didn't,
You take steeper vows. In fact,
steeper vows
Well,
to be the teacher than to be the priest.
let me give you a couple of refinements. Secular priests, so-called parish priests, right?
Yeah.
Parish priests take a singular vow of chastity.
Mm-hmm.
Chastity, by vow of chastity, that means they're not supposed to do any screwing. I don't know what else they're not supposed to do. There are probably a lot of refinements.
Poverty and
You
poverty.
really shouldn't smoke a Camel like this because it looks very equivocal on the screen. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, it's
What?
not reefer.
It's Camel.
Okay.
It's Camel.
You obviously hadn't smoked any reefer by this time.
Oh gosh, no. It just wasn't happening.
63?
Not for me. It wasn't.
Ah, okay. It was happening, just not for you.
Right.
Okay.
I do not think that it did happen.
So then you went to Columbia
Yes.
with the Peace Corps
Yeah.
after coming out squeaky clean. Now, is this to say that everybody that went into the Peace Corps at that time, because of the major look at by the federal government, was basically squeaky clean?
They weren't sending any criminals yet.
They weren't sending any hippies or... Which
There
had
was-
just started at that point.
Yeah, right, man. Let me tell you about hippies, okay?
Clean cut all American boys.
And let me tell you about circumscribed perspective. I didn't know about hippies until I was well along in my years in Columbia. And where do you think I found out about hippies?
When they came to Columbia.
No, when Time magazine reported the phenomenon.
That was 69 for
No,
God's sake.
no, earlier than that.
67. was
Early
somewhere around.
'67, I think they did their first big issue on this rare phenomenon of hippiedom.
Time and Life came out at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Time and life.
Well, see, I knew about it long before then, because...
Yeah, well, there you are. You're still a hippie, for God's sakes. Right? No, I just mean in mold apparent.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got, obviously...
Counterculture, we call ourselves, not hippies.
I would say that it's just between you and me. Now, you can't see Tom. I wish he would stand before the camera for just a second so you get a shot of him. That wouldn't be objective, and this is an objective interview. But Tom is
The very epitome of the late 60s.
he's an extremely uncharacteristic hippie in terms of practical administration of his necessary business and causes, what have you. There's nothing flaky about this dude. You don't mind my saying so, do you?
No, I'm not flaky at all. No,
He's not
I'm a
flaky at
basic
all.
Taurus, and there's no flake to me.
Did you say a basic tourist?
Yeah.
He said Taurus.
Okay, so this was, we're talking 65.
Yeah, 65.
When you went into the Peace Corps.
Right.
And you were in the Peace Corps until?
Till around the end of 67.
Until the end of 67.
Yeah. Not quite the end. There was.
And you went to Columbia.
Columbia, yeah.
That home of cocaine and marijuana.
Yeah, but the coke scene was not that big or apparent.
The
at
cocaine
that time.
scene was nothing at the time.
Right. Marijuana was in plentiful presence.
And you went there to do what?